Ben McKee, West Rucker, Go Vols 24/7 here at Lindsey Nelson Stadium following Tennessee's 11-1 run rule victory over Samford in the series finale. Tennessee sweeps Samford with the win here on Sunday. Finally looked like Tennessee baseball again with run rules. I'm kidding, of course. That was a good Samford baseball program, but keeping it short and simple, I think Tennessee's bats woke up along with Mother Nature this morning.
Yeah, I agree with you. Samford, we watched every pitch of this series. I think that's a good baseball team.
Yep.
Again, you can see why they get to the tournament. It seems like every year, every other year, because they're a good program with good players. And yesterday they took a real beanbag kick late in that game. I mean, they had it. It was there. They were right there. And then Tennessee did Tennessee stuff late. But then today, to come back from that and to go lead off homer to begin the game, their dugout's fired up. You're like, okay, game on maybe. But no, Tennessee just went and did what it often does at the end of series, which is just overwhelm you.
And the bats certainly overwhelmed Tennessee. It did take a couple of innings. Tennessee had its big inning in the fifth when they scored 5 runs to break the game open, and it started with Gavin Keelan hitting his second 3-run homer of the week. And you had mentioned like he kind of felt like he was due for a big hit with some of the at-bats that he had this weekend because he had been seeing the ball well, drawing a lot of walks, and put another great swing on it this afternoon like he did against UNC Asheville on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm not making any more predictions the rest of the season because I got that when I said I think he's about to hit. He's due for something hard. But he's a really nice player. I mean, Tennessee's got enough players in this team. You can make a happy face now. He's got enough options on this team, Vitello does, that you kind of forget how exceptional some of the individual players are because there's just, so many good players. And Keelan's one of those guys. I mean, that was one of the best players in the SEC, one of the best transfers on the market for anybody this summer, and he's a good prospect. He'd be playing shortstop just about anywhere else, but Dean Curley is here. So it's just kind of a testament to the kind of players that they're getting and just where they are right now as a program.
Yeah, and Hunter Inslee goes back-to-back, as Wes remembers now, to put his microphone on.
Check.
We're going to keep rolling with this and hope that the first 2 minutes, my mic picked up the audio. But Hunter Inslee goes back-to-back. Good thing you weren't hitting behind anybody today. Mm-hmm. You would have let them down like you just let me down. But Levi Clark, Stone Lawless, later in the game, they hit the last 2 of Tennessee's 4 homers that they hit today, and both were just impressive shots. Levi, second straight day, he hits a pinch hit, home run. And then Levi Clark, but Stone Lawless, it wasn't whether or not he had the distance, it was whether or not it was going to stay fair or go foul, and he got every bit of that one.
Yeah, he had to kind of fisk that one a little bit. You're kind of leaning, seeing is it going to stay inside the pole? It was a really impressive swing. And on Clark's, I mean, the numbers on it, don't show that it was like an absolutely massive homer. But if you go back and watch, and I didn't see it till the replay because our angle that we have, that pitch was in on him. I mean, he really got the bat turned around on that one, and absolutely for where it was, that's a tough pitch to hit where he hit it. And they're just accomplished players, rounded players for young guys. I mean, Lawless didn't play last season. He's a redshirt freshman. Clark obviously comes straight out of high school, and you can see why they were so happy to keep him out of the draft, keep him from going pro, because he could have. He's that good. And, these guys, again, both those guys, they're not guys who start every game, and they didn't start much at all this week. So it kind of shows you the options that they have. It makes it even funnier that Tony keeps saying they don't really maybe have as much depth as he'd like.
Yeah, it definitely does when they can have 2 completely different teams that would make a run at the postseason. On the mound, on that note, there's just not enough innings for the amount of pitchers that they have, especially when they continue to run rule opponents and you're playing 7 instead of 9. But Brandon Arvidsson, you mentioned it earlier, allows the leadoff homer. He settled in a bit after that and ended his 2-inning outing on a high note. And then you had several arms out of the bullpen with strong afternoons. Austin Hundley, Braden Sharp, Ryan Combs, Austin Breedlove. I apologize if I'm leaving anybody out, but just a good overall day for the Tennessee pitching staff. And I thought the defense was better today as well, which Mother Nature probably also assisted in that one as well.
A little bit, and it's interesting. We talk about guys that are not playing a ton yet or having to fight for their spot. I mean, You know, when you got a pitcher who is good as we think Brian Combs might be at times, to play a full series and he doesn't come until the last inning of the third, I mean, that's just –
And the game's out of hand.
I mean, you're burning ants with magnifying glasses at that point. I mean, it's and then, you know, a guy like Coons has still not pitched. Dylan Loy has still not pitched at all this season. And there were some guys that absolutely could have gone out there and thrown today who just didn't get a chance to because it was just, you know, a shorter game.
Krenzel, Abraham, they
Yes,
didn't pitch this weekend after a
yes.
strong midweek out. There's just not enough innings for how many arms they have.
No, there's not. And what's going to be interesting all season is how those guys respond to that. Like, because there will be times where someone will get a little bit sore here or there, or something will be barking at them, and they'll have a quiet week, or they'll come out of a game early, or the rotation will get screwed up a little bit. And you'll see pretty quickly how many of those guys have still been doing work in times like this, because nothing simulates game reps other than game reps. You can't put all those factors together, even in scrimmages or anything. So that part, you go, okay, well, it's not the exact same, but you'll see who's still been keeping their arm in shape. You'll see who's still been dialed in. You know, who's going to be like that version of Stone Lawless, who didn't play at all last season, but clearly kept himself ready and was ready to go this season. So who's going to be ready when those guys get called on?
Tennessee will be back in action on Tuesday against North Alabama for its second midweek game of the season, and then they'll be off to Houston to play in Texas for 3 games next weekend against Oklahoma State, Rice, and Arizona. So a big weekend of baseball for Tennessee coming up next weekend. And in the meantime, we'll have all of your Tennessee baseball coverage up at GoVols247.com. I'm Ben McKee. He's Wes Rucker.
Sorry about the mic.